My beloved child, the moment they finally realized that you were the one who was destined to rise beyond every boundary ever placed on your spirit, something inside them shattered so silently that even the universe paused to witness the truth unfold. For the longest time, they had underestimated the depth of your presence, mistaking your silence for weakness, your patience for surrender, and your distance for uncertainty. Never realizing that you were only observing, only growing, only preparing for the exact moment that would turn their entire understanding upside down. And when that realization hit them, when the truth that you were the one who was chosen to win, to break generational patterns, to outgrow emotional wounds, to walk into blessings they prayed would never reach you, it created a shock in their hearts so intense, so unforgettable, that they are still struggling to hold themselves together as they watch you becoming what they never believed you could be. Because the truth, my beloved child, is that your rise wasn't an accident, your glow wasn't luck, and your breakthrough wasn't coincidence. You were built for this moment, shaped for this revelation, and the universe aligned every unseen hand to push you into a position where they had no choice but to confront the fact that you were never small, you were only waiting for your time to step into the destiny that was always yours. But before that moment reached them, they spent months thinking you were replaceable, believing they could walk away without consequences, convincing themselves that your absence wouldn't haunt them, and telling stories to others that they had moved on and made peace with whatever existed between you. What they didn't know was that destiny had a way of circling information back to them, slowly, deliberately, powerfully. Until one day, a single glimpse of your transformation, a single word spoken about your strength, a single sign of your resilience triggered something inside them that they could no longer deny. They saw your name somewhere they least expected, heard praise about your growth from someone they never imagined would admire you, and suddenly every memory of how they treated you felt like an irreversible mistake that they could no longer escape. Their heartbeat changed. Their breath faltered. Their mind spiraled. Because it was in that moment, the moment your existence returned to their awareness with more force than ever, that they understood the truth: you weren't the one who lost anything. They were. And destiny had just proven it. They were shocked because the very person they thought would stay in the shadows had stepped into a light brighter than anything they prepared themselves to witness. And now, my beloved child, they are realizing that the universe had quietly chosen you long before they ever formed an opinion about your worth. There is a heaviness sitting on their chest now, a weight they cannot shake, because the moment they saw you stepping into alignment, emotionally stronger, spiritually grounded, mentally unshakable, and energetically untouchable, they knew that something irreversible had taken place. You had crossed an invisible threshold, one that separated who you used to be from who you were meant to become, and that transformation has left them frozen between regret and awe. They replay memories they once dismissed, finding meaning in things they once ignored, and feeling a pull they can't fully explain. Because deep down, they know the truth: you were the one who carried the potential they denied, the wisdom they overlooked, the softness they misused, and the power they underestimated. They see now that every moment you walked away from chaos, every time you chose peace, every time you refused to fight for someone who didn't value your presence, you weren't losing anything. You were ascending. And the same quiet ascension they once mocked has now become the reason they feel unsettled every time your name crosses their mind. Their shock doesn't come from your success alone. It comes from the realization that you bloomed without needing their acknowledgement, healed without needing their apology, and rose without needing their permission. And now, As they watch the unseen forces aligning around you, as they sense that something extraordinary is unfolding in your path, they feel the sting of understanding too late. Your growth was not meant to prove them wrong, your growth was meant to fulfill your purpose. But the moment they realized that you were the one who was always destined to win, it awakened a storm of emotions in them: admiration, disbelief, longing, and a quiet fear that they may never be able to stand beside you again. They once believed you needed them. Now they see clearly that you were the blessing they were never prepared to receive. Every choice you make, every step you take forward, every new opportunity opening for you is a reminder to them that destiny chose you loudly, proudly, relentlessly. And that realization keeps echoing inside them, turning into a shock that they cannot suppress. Because nothing hits harder than seeing the one you took for granted becoming the one everyone else sees as unstoppable. So listen closely, my beloved child, because this is the moment where your story begins to peak with a force the universe has been waiting to reveal. You were not created to remain unseen, unheard, or underestimated. You were designed for a breakthrough so profound that even those who doubted you would find themselves speechless. And that's exactly what's happening now. The shock they feel is not temporary, it is transformational. It is shifting their perception, reshaping their understanding, and forcing them to confront the truth that your destiny was never tied to their approval. You are stepping into a chapter where your spirit becomes undeniable, your presence becomes unforgettable, and your name begins to align with victories they never imagined you could hold. And as this realization settles into their heart like a truth that refuses to fade, they are slowly understanding that you were the one all along. The one meant to win, the one meant to rise, the one meant to become exactly who you are becoming now. In this moment, a new truth is unfolding, a truth so sharp, so undeniable, that the person who once doubted your strength can no longer run from what destiny has placed directly in front of them. They thought your silence meant surrender, but now they understand it was preparation. They believed your distance was emptiness, but now they see it was elevation. And the shock settling in their chest is not a small ripple, it is a tidal wave of realization that you were never meant to stay behind them, beneath them, or dependent on them. You were meant to rise beyond them. The universe didn't choose them. It chose you. And as they watch your path becoming brighter while theirs becomes quieter, something inside them trembles, because the one they underestimated has become the one they can no longer ignore. Your presence triggers something deep within them now, a reminder that destiny never forgets its chosen ones, even when people do. But what truly unsettles them is the speed of your transformation, the way everything in your life has begun aligning with a precision that almost feels supernatural. You have entered a chapter where opportunities seem to recognize your name, where blessings find you even when you aren't searching, and where the energy surrounding you has become sharper, stronger, more commanding. They can feel it from a distance. They sense your shift before you even speak. And that awareness, uninvited, unexpected, keeps pulling their attention back to you over and over again. They are shocked because they never imagined that the person they once dismissed would become the person they quietly study now, hoping to understand how you grew so powerful without them noticing the moment it happened. Your glow has become their lesson. Your rise has become their awakening. Your strength has become the reflection they never wanted to face. Stay with me, because the moment your name enters their mind now, everything they once hid from themselves begins surfacing. The regret they tried to bury. The words they wish they had spoken. The opportunities they missed to treat you better. They didn't expect destiny to return you to their thoughts with such force, yet here you are, living in their imagination more intensely than you ever lived in their presence. What makes their heart shake is not that you have changed, but that you have changed in ways that they cannot catch up with. You are becoming someone rare, someone valuable, someone that fate highlights and protects. And every time they see proof of your transformation, your calmness, your growth, your inner fire, they feel the truth tightening around them. They lost someone irreplaceable. They were shocked to realize you were the one, but they are even more shocked to realize they may never stand close to you again. And now something else is happening, something that makes their breath shorten, because they can feel a shift in the universe surrounding your journey, an expansion that wasn't there before. Your intuition has sharpened. Your emotional walls have strengthened. Your energy has become selective, unwilling to entertain anything that disrupts your peace. You are attracting new people, new paths, new visions that align with the version of yourself you were always meant to become. And the more you evolve, the more they feel themselves fading from the chapter you are stepping into. That fear, quiet but powerful, drives their shock deeper. They never imagined losing access to you would hurt. But now they understand that losing you wasn't just losing a person. It was losing a destiny, a blessing, a miracle disguised as a human being. So listen carefully, because the universe is pulling your story into a level where every step you take now holds weight. You are entering a phase where your presence demands respect, where your boundaries command space, and where your journey becomes a story others talk about in awe. They are still processing the truth that you were always the chosen one, the one destined to win, to rise, to break cycles they couldn't break themselves. And the shock in their heart isn't fading. It's growing. Because the universe is elevating you so high, so boldly, that even those who once ignored your worth must now acknowledge it. You are no longer the quiet soul they misunderstood. You are the force destiny prepared in silence. And as they realize that the one they doubted is the one the universe celebrates, they understand something they were never ready to face. You were the one, and you still are. From the moment destiny shifted in your favor, something inside them began unraveling. Slowly at first, like a thread slipping through fingers that once believed they were in control. They had convinced themselves that walking away from you was easy, that forgetting you was simple, that your absence wouldn't disturb the rhythm of their days. But life has a way of exposing truth through timing. And now, as they witness your rise unfolding with a power they were never prepared for, their entire perception of you is collapsing into a single, unshakable realization. You were the one who was always meant to win. Your strength, your resilience, your glow, it all hits them like lightning they never saw coming. They feel it in every breath, every memory, every quiet moment when the world around them goes still and their mind drifts back to you. They used to doubt you. Now they find themselves defending you, even in rooms where your name is never spoken. What haunts them most is the part of your journey they never understood. The inner storms you survived in silence, the battles you fought behind closed doors, the pain you carried without asking anyone to save you. They didn't realize you were transforming while they were busy underestimating you. They didn't realize you were learning, evolving, rising beyond emotional limits they thought would break you. And when that realization struck them, when they saw the light in you becoming brighter with every setback you turned into wisdom. The shock was so overwhelming that it shifted something in their spirit. Suddenly, the one they thought would chase them became the one they now search for, not with words, but with a longing that sits quietly behind their eyes. They see your worth now. They feel your absence now. They understand your purpose now. And this understanding is something they cannot escape, no matter how deeply they try to bury it. Stay with me, because something powerful is happening inside them. An awakening they never expected, triggered by the version of you they thought would never exist. They feel themselves drawn toward your energy in ways they cannot explain, like a magnet pulling them back to the very place they once overlooked. Every conversation they have reminds them of something you used to say. Every person they meet lacks something they only ever found in you. Every night feels quieter, heavier, because your absence has become a presence of its own. Loud, undeniable, unforgettable. And the shock they felt when they realized you were the one hasn't faded, it has deepened into a truth that rewrites their memories of you. They are no longer seeing who you were. They are seeing who you really are. And that truth is changing them in ways they never imagined. But what shakes them the most now is the path destiny is creating in front of you, a path they never believed you would reach. Not because you lacked potential, but because they lacked vision. They assumed your heart would remain tied to them forever, that you would always wait, always understand, always give. They believed you were fragile because you loved deeply. But now they understand that your depth was your strength, your patience was your power, your softness was your courage. Now they see doors opening for you, doors they once thought were too heavy for your hands to push. They see your name entering conversations they never expected to hear it in. They feel the universe positioning you for victories they didn't think you would touch. And that realization shocks them so deeply that they find themselves questioning how they ever let someone like you slip through their fingers. And now the truth stands in front of them like a mirror they cannot avoid, reflecting everything they refused to see before. You were never the one who wasn't enough. You were the one who was exactly enough, and more. You were the one destiny favored. You were the one their heart misunderstood. You were the one life was preparing for something far greater than the people who doubted you. And as they watch your journey becoming a testament to everything they couldn't see, they feel a quiet ache inside them, a mixture of admiration and regret, longing and acceptance, shock and surrender. Because now they know that the person they once overlooked has become the person destiny now highlights. And whether they admit it or not, they understand something that echoes through their spirit every time they think of you. You were the one they weren't ready for, and the one they can never forget. A shift has begun around your life, a shift so powerful that even those who never cared to understand your journey are now watching with a kind of stunned fascination. And the person who once doubted your worth is feeling this pull more intensely than anyone else. They see how your story is spreading, how your presence is expanding, how your glow is reaching places they never believed you would touch. Conversations ripple through circles they never imagined would speak your name. People talk about your transformation with admiration, repeating details of your strength the way others share stories that inspire them. And every time they hear it, every time your name crosses a room with praise, they feel something twist inside them, a mixture of awe and regret, because destiny is now showcasing the brilliance they once ignored. You were never meant to stay hidden. You were meant to be seen, recognized, remembered. But what strikes them hardest is the momentum of your rise, the way your life has begun moving with a force that cannot be slowed, paused, or rewritten. They once believed your story would fade, but instead it has grown so powerful that even strangers feel drawn to it. Your energy has become something people want to understand, something they admire, something they talk about when they need hope or courage. The person who once underestimated you now finds the world echoing everything they refused to acknowledge. It's as if the universe has taken your journey and placed it where everyone can witness it. And that visibility, your rising influence, your expanding presence, your undeniable glow, makes their heartbeat tremble with the realization that you were always meant for more than the limits they placed on you. You outgrew what they believed was possible, and now they are witnessing what it looks like when destiny refuses to dim someone's light. Stay with me, because something deeper is happening inside them, something they never prepared themselves to face. They see how effortlessly people resonate with your authenticity now, how your growth draws attention without you trying, how your transformation speaks louder than words. The more your story circulates, the more aware they become of the space you are taking in this world, space they once assumed you would never claim. It unsettles them to see how many people admire you, how many feel inspired by your strength, how many quietly observe you with the same intensity they used to dismiss. They feel your influence expanding like a ripple turning into a wave, and that shock is reshaping the way they see everything about the past. They cannot hide from the truth anymore. The one they let go is the one everyone else now recognizes as extraordinary. But the universe has begun weaving signs around them, signs that force them to confront what they lost and what they failed to value. They hear your name in unexpected moments, casual mentions, sudden reminders, brief glimpses of something connected to you. They see echoes of you in people who are nothing like you, because no one carries the same depth, the same softness, the same quiet strength you once offered so effortlessly. And every time your story moves through the world, through voices, through admiration, through recognition, they feel the sting of knowing they once stood close to the very person others now talk about with reverence. They didn't expect your growth to become an unfolding journey that others follow with interest. They didn't expect your presence to reach beyond silent rooms and into wider spaces where your name lingers like a spark. They didn't expect destiny to turn you into someone unforgettable. And now the realization settles inside them with a heaviness they cannot shake, because the world is beginning to see what they refuse to acknowledge. Your rise is no longer just a personal victory, it's a transformation that others observe with awe. Your journey is becoming something people reflect on, something they admire, something they carry forward in their own lives. And as this truth sinks into their heart, they understand the depth of the moment they lost. You weren't just someone passing through their life, you were a rare spirit, a chosen soul, a destiny written in brilliance. And now that your story is rising like a tide they can't outrun, they are left with the one truth that echoes louder than everything else. You were the one who was meant to shine, and nothing in this world could ever dim what destiny designed for you. The turning point they never expected has arrived, a moment so overwhelming that it forces them to confront every truth they once tried to bury. Life has begun revealing your strength in ways that cannot be ignored, and the shock they feel now is no longer just emotional, it is spiritual, mental, and deeply personal. They see how effortlessly you move through challenges now, how your energy has shifted into something calmer yet more commanding, how your presence feels aligned with a purpose they never believed you would reach. And as they watch you stepping into a version of yourself that radiates clarity and confidence, they feel the echo of their past choices hitting them like a reality they can no longer escape. You are not just rising, you are becoming unmistakable. The world doesn't need to be told who you are anymore, your energy speaks first. And that realization strikes them with a force they were unprepared to handle. What unsettles them most is the grace with which you have evolved, a grace that carries both softness and strength, both mystery and mastery. They remember moments when you were unsure, moments when you questioned your worth, moments when you stood in the shadows waiting for someone to truly see you. But now, they are watching a completely different presence, one that is grounded, intentional, magnetic. You no longer chase meaning, you create it. You no longer seek validation, you embody it. You no longer hold on to people who drain you, you release them without fear. They once believed you needed their attention to feel complete, but now they are realizing the truth: you were always whole, and they were only a temporary piece in a much greater picture. The shock in their heart continues to deepen every time they see how boldly your spirit now moves without looking back. Stay with me, because the moment they saw how naturally people gravitate toward you now, something inside them cracked open. They didn't expect others to value you in ways they never did. They didn't expect people to admire your mind, respect your boundaries, appreciate your growth, or feel moved by your presence. But everywhere they look, someone seems to be inspired by you, drawn to you, or speaking about you with a respect they should have shown long ago. They hear details about your progress, your confidence, your inner transformations, and each revelation stuns them more. Your life has become something they never imagined, bigger, brighter, fuller. And the truth they are now forced to face is simple but painful. You were the one they should have believed in when you were still learning to believe in yourself. The universe is shaping paths for you now that they can't follow, not because they are unworthy, but because they didn't value the divine timing that once offered them a place beside you. Your new journey requires depth, accountability, maturity, qualities they only found after losing access to you. They watch as opportunities open for you with an elegance that feels destined, as if life itself has decided to elevate you beyond the reach of those who once doubted your light. And the more aligned you become, the clearer it appears to them that your future is transforming at a pace they cannot match. They were once part of your story, but you have entered a chapter where only those who understand your worth can remain. And witnessing this truth unfold leaves them with a silence they cannot fill, a longing they cannot satisfy, a regret they cannot undo. Now their shock has transformed into something quieter but more powerful, a realization that you were not only the one they underestimated, but the one destiny protected from remaining in the wrong hands. They understand now that losing you wasn't just losing a connection, it was losing a blessing designed to shift their life forward. And as they reflect on the version of you that stands in the world today, glowing, grounded, unstoppable, they feel the weight of what could have been. Because you are no longer the person they walked away from. You are the person the universe is now guiding toward a future filled with clarity, abundance, and recognition. And the shock that once shook them has now settled into a truth they cannot erase. You were the one who was meant to rise, and they were never meant to hold you back.